Good evening, beings of the faraway galaxy. My name is Ben.
And my name is Alex.
And what we're going to talk about is Star Wars. Why? Because we're a bunch of silly idiots. That's why. No. Anyway, so JJ blowing up the internet again. Getting all kinds of people riled up again for no apparent reason. I thought that we were simmering down. Apparently we are not. I thought it was finally like things were kind of just calming down a little bit, and apparently that's not happening. So my two cents on it. If you haven't read the article, please go read it. We're not going to read it. There are many videos out there reading the article to you. Just basically, a lot of people are kind of taking it kind of in the sense that anybody who didn't like The Last Jedi just feels threatened by women. At least that's what it's coming across as.
And that's pretty much what he said, that the majority of the fan base, we feel threatened by the women. And you know what? I think I can speak for most of us. It's not that we're threatened by women. We're being threatened that we are being alienated. Let's be real here. Girls like Star Wars. They can like Star Wars, but do they like Star Wars? Do they love Star Wars? Dude, my whole childhood was influenced by it. And some of you out there, maybe you were too. And I'm not doubting these girls are. And that's cool. We can have strong female leads. But don't make the dudes look dumb. Don't make Poe look dumb. You didn't give Admiral Akbar a proper death. Luke looked like a biatch the whole time. And but Leia was pretty cool. Leia was pretty cool.
Yeah, with the exception of the last film that she was in a coma half the time. That was an unfortunate case anyway. But I just feel like that we're not being heard. And a lot of people, there are split feelings on JJ all across the board. Say what you want about The Force Awakens, of course, rehashing all that stuff, everything copy and pasty, all other things, but at least it was respectful to Star Wars, and I'm just absolutely dying to know what George Lucas has to think about all of this, like the splitting of fans, the splitting of people, having to define themselves by their gender or by their race in Star Wars. This is just actually absolutely insane. I 10 years ago, if you told me 10 years ago that we would be actually having debates about this type of thing in Star Wars, I would have laughed.
Right, that's a good point. Like, look at what Lucas made and where he is now, and now that he's out of the spotlight and all this is coming up, he must be sitting back thinking like, this is so great that it's not me that they're talking crap about, and he can just sit back and laugh. But with I'm gonna be on JJ's side a little bit here, only because we may be overreacting to what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because if we had a main character who was a Wookiee or a Twi'lek, or if they were any other race, we probably wouldn't have a problem. But we have a couple girls and everyone's freaking out. But see, that's okay. Again, I get the whole point. Women are okay. JJ could be telling us, "Hey, calm down." But again, they did dirty a lot of the leads in The Last Jedi, and we all feel the same way. We all feel the same way.
Yeah. So and I'm just dying to see. I would love to see George Lucas and Mark Hamill have a discussion about what's happening right now. That would be so priceless to see. But yeah, especially I think that brings me to my next point. Thank you for bringing that up. Just in general, I think personally, what it boils down to is that any character that comes to life on the screen should be likable. We've all read books. When you read a book from the character's point of view, you have to, in order for you to actually want to be there, to want to enjoy their story or be immersed in their story, you have to like the character. The character has to be likable, regardless of whether they're a villain or a hero. They have to be likable. And this is just from my observation, from everybody that I've talked to, people that I've seen videos of, etc. All these diehard fans. I think the problem is that both new and old characters, iconic characters, all these characters, none of them are likable, and I think that is the problem. That is the heart of what's really going on here is that none of the characters are their motivations, the things that happen to them. There's nothing that actually makes them really like you. For Force Awakens, yes, I was kind of in everybody's ballpark. I was like, yeah, okay, this is okay. I'm kind of there. I'm into it. I'm there, but I think in general, when Last Jedi hit, I mean, everybody just had issues with being able to relate. That's, I don't know.
Yeah, and I forgot where I read it, and I hate that I have to just like throw it out there without having the quote, but how Star Wars has been about white males and young white males, and that's been the protagonist. We've had a lot of kick butt female characters. We've had Padme. Dude, Padme, she was one of my first crushes from episode 1. I remember seeing episode 1 and thinking, 1, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul fighting, awesome. Pod racing, awesome. I don't care what you say. And then Padme, wow, 9-year-old got a 14-year-old. Man, I can do it too. Like, okay, so 1, Padme. We got Asajj. She is awesome. Dude, the double red lightsabers, hands down, we know she's cool. We know she's cool. Ahsoka, awesome. We have Mon Mothma from the original trilogies. Dude, she is respectable figure. And then, best of all, episode 3, we got the Booba lady giving birth to Anakin, or not Anakin, I'm sorry, giving birth to Luke and Leia. Booba. Booba.
Yes.
What's more iconic than that?
And then having Leia there for so long, and Asajj Ventress and Ahsoka. I mean, honestly, Ahsoka's so beloved, but it's like we're never gonna get a film with her in it. So we've got to have these other characters, which is fine. Anyway, once again, that's the point that we're trying to get across. And I agree with you to some degree. Is that a lot of people are kind of blown a little bit out of proportion. But I think honestly, JJ is just he's trying to make a movie, and so he's like, just screw all this, get away from all this. But at the same time, it's kind of bizarre that he's actually saying it in the first place. But
I think that we're just all worried that Star Wars is going to continue in the same direction. Which, The Last Jedi, man, whether you liked it or not, it definitely left it on a hinge. There is no question about it. It is on a hinge. The fans are saying, please, 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 bring it back. And in the comments, I saw a couple of you were like, why were you excited about Ryan? Like,
there's a guy,
but JJ, like, you know what? At this point, I don't even know. I hope he brings it home. I hope it's a home run. Home run.
Okay, so anyway, we're gonna move on from that. But I think it's just that there's a lot of misconceptions there, and I think one of the things that World Class BSers said specifically was that there's a disconnect between the fans and Lucasfilm, and that's basically what's going on here. So I think that there's miscommunications. There's a disconnect on what people want as fans, and it's just that's fine. Make your episode 9. Who cares? Anyway.
And this is all for discussion on the comments. We're going to go over some of the comments at the very end, talk about what some of you guys have said. So if you have any points, if you have anything that's super relevant that you're just like, hey, this, that, put it in. We'll talk about it. Yeah, let us know.
And so we're almost done with this J.J. Abrams thing. So for my personal notes here, I just feel like it's really odd that they're just blindly going forward on this freight train debacle, and aren't even addressing the real arguments. These things that they're had. They're the real arguments and the real problems that people had with it, and what was actually going on there. Mistreatment of characters and mistreatment of all these other things. So. And don't get me wrong, like, I really feel like JJ will come up with hopefully a competent end to this thing. And this it's gonna be crazy because this is the last one we're gonna see. This is the last at least episodic film we'll see for a long time. We probably won't see an episode 10 for a long time. Or
you know what I think it's gonna be? The last of the Skywalker. It's the last of the Skywalker saga. We had the original trilogy, we had the prequels, which We all know we're awesome. Hardcore Star Wars fans loved it. Episode 3,
They do.
the Plagueis, the speech that's immortalized, and we're gonna be going over the books soon. So stay tuned. That's gonna be great.
We're gonna do a Plagueis podcast.
And I mean, Force Awakens. Not so. I don't care what. This is what I think. Force Awakens, not so bad, not good, not bad. I enjoyed it. The Last Jedi, it could have given me more. I didn't think it was so bad. Everyone thinks differently. I'm just saying what I think. But this last movie could tie it all in. It could be so great. It could be what we want. It could also put it in the dirt.
Yeah, it really could. Do you have any specific predictions? Like, do you think that they're going to actually have a Force Ghost battle between good, evil Force Ghosts? Do you have any specific thoughts on that before we...
In a previous video, we talked a little bit about it. I'm going to hold off till the comments section because one of you made a very awesome prediction slash... two cents, and I really liked it.
Okay,
so we'll hold off until then. We're moving on to Rebels.
In just a second, I have one more thing to mention. So, and just once again, more in light of the new characters and everything, just remember that, like, I remember specifically when Force Awakens was first announced, Kathleen first was interviewed about doing things and what direction they were going to take everything, and she said specifically, when she had a conversation with George about it, she said, George had said, directions and which way are you going to go with this and everything, and she said, sorry, George, we're going to probably do something for the fans. And so that's something that I remember that actually was burned into my brain. And so that's the point, is that she was doing so. And so it made me really have a sense of hope from the beginning, thinking that they were going to be doing something for the fans. So anyway, let take that with a grain of salt and hope that they actually do something for the fans now. So anyway, we're going to move on here to Rebels, because new Rebels episode tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. This is the end, beautiful friend. My 2 cents on it. All of you who even watch these videos know how I feel about it. I feel that Luke is the new hope. With the first film in Star Wars ever made, to make that legitimate and make that him a needed hero to blow up the Death Star and do all the things that he did. Spoiler alert on that one. That having Ezra flying around being an awesome Jedi is kind of weird for me personally. And I realize that there's reasons why they have to have him there. I get it. And Ezra's cool. Ezra's cool. I just feel like that having him actually in the galaxy when Luke's there doesn't make any sense. I feel like they really need to have him either be gone or dead or something. I think Thrawn is going to kidnap him and take him into the Outer Rim, or not the Outer Rim, but to the out to the unknown regions. I think that Kanan's probably going to die. I don't know how he's going to die. Hopefully they'll give him they'll give him a really good send-off, because they haven't given any of the iconic characters any send-off at all whatsoever. We won't get to see Leia die at all. She's going to die off screen. Luke's death was bizarre. It was fine, I guess. It was weird. But and then of course Han's death was kind of a cheap shot. I don't know. Anyway. We're not going to get into that. But I just hope they do Kanan justice. I think Zeb's going to probably return to his planet, his people, because his people are rebuilding them. I don't know how that's going to happen, of course, but it'd be really interesting to see how that happens. We know that Hera and Chopper end up in the Battle of Scarif. It'd be interesting to see if they actually all end up in the Battle of Scarif. I don't know. I do know that Sabine's going to go back to Mandalore. So anyway, enough of my talking, but that's just my opinion. I think that Ezra either needs to die, or Thrawn will probably kidnap him.
I think Ezra needs to die as well. Like, I feel like having all these Jedi on the side, like, kind of dilutes the whole, like, the Order 66. Killing off all the Jedi. They've been gone this whole time. And, like, having all these side stories of Ezra, like, kicking butt, going good against the Empire, like, he's getting away, like, that takes away from the whole, like, the Jedi they're gone. They're gone. So I think he needs. We see Sidious. We see Sidious.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
multiple times in the mid-season trailer. So we see Sidious. So, man, we saw what happened in Clone Wars when Savage and Maul ran into Sidious. Wasn't good for them. Like, straight up. So if Ezra runs into Sidious, it's over. Yeah. So that, too, we see where Ezra's kind of in this weird... It's almost like from the Clone Wars where they meet the Force beings. That owl and then all the weird... It's almost like... I don't even know. You guys saw it was the black and white. Maybe he goes to the Force beings. Maybe he sees that. I think he's not going to make it, though. I think he's not going to make it. I think that Kanan is... I don't know, but it's going to be
they're actually going to kill him? You think they're actually
Yes, I think they're going to kill him. I think it's going to be kind of Rogue One feeling where they're doing good, but they gave their life for the rebellion, and you know what? That's congruent with the rest of Star Wars. It makes sense. It feels good. I gotta give one gripe about Rebels over Clone Wars that the mid-season is gonna fix is that a lot of their stuff doesn't have an impact. Man, you watch the episode... Oh, this is good. There's a couple laughs. Oh, man, they made it in the end.
There's a lot of filler.
Nothing else is there. There's a lot of filler. It's definitely like... It's geared towards kids. And you know what? Fine. That's okay. Like, it gets into Star Wars, but I'm ready for some impact. I'm ready for something, and this from here on out, everything should be impactful.
So do you... I'm just curious what you guys think about the trailer that happened just recently. It shows Sidious and they're saying, what did he say?
Your mind, Bridger.
Ezra Bridger, your mind. Like, he knows his name and his family, everything. Like, makes you wonder if, how important he is, if he's going to be something that will show up in further canon. It's really interesting thinking of it now, knowing now that Palpatine's going to be in here. It kind of blows me away to kind of think about. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. It'd be interesting if Palpatine captures him and puts him in some, puts him in some prison somewhere where he has to stay. So it would just be interesting to see what happens there. I'm curious. What do you guys think? What are your theories, man? My favorite character in the show is Callus. I think his arc is so cool.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about people who have to defect from the Empire. Like, his arc is amazing. The way it shows, I don't know if you remember these episodes where it shows him kind of bond with Zeb, and they were bonding on that ice. It was like an ice moon of the Bugs planet. I can't remember but anyway, having him return to the Empire and having him deal with going, oh, okay, so yeah, even though I'm in this Empire, I'm still alone, type of thing. So it was a really, really cool thing to see him change and go. Anyway, it's a lot more believable than Iden. Do you know who Iden is? She's from the Battlefront game.
Oh!
So it's a lot more believable than she was as far as her arc. And spoiler alert, sorry if you know that story with Iden Versio and her betrayal, etc., and all that thing. It's a little bit more. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that. We're going to get into the Twitter questions here in a second. But yeah, there's Callus again, just being the cool dude. It's so funny how he slowly gets longer hair and gets shaggier with the Rebels. One of my favorite moments in Rebels of this last season was seeing Mon Mothma there. So anyway, we're all really excited for Rebels. Do you have anything else to say about Rebels?
Rebels is pretty sweet. We should expect to see some heavy action. Rebels, for me, was it started strong.
Yeah, it had some...
Yeah, it started tapering off, but I've been getting into it. Well, really, I was right back into it with Ahsoka and Maul and Darth Vader, Yeah, we all were, and I feel like it was kind of like a roller coaster ride that let off a little too early with season 4, but, again, they're going to bring it back. They're going to bring it back at the end. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they end Kanan, his story, and Ezra's. I love the Kanan comic. If anybody has seen the Kanan comics, those are that whole story is pretty unbelievable. But anyway, we're gonna get into the last comments from the last video that all of you made awesome comments on. So there's some really cool stuff that was said. But in all reality, like just to really quickly, just one more thing on the J.J. Abrams thing. Yeah, I think he just needs to make the movie and be quiet. So anyway, because people are getting freaked out. So yeah, genre. This is one of these lines here. Genre dead.
By Star Wars is dead. Y'all feel my pain.
We do, and thank you for feeling. At least it's like this whole thing is like for me, it's been therapeutic, like being able to just talk about this stuff. Because honestly, it's like none of us knew how to feel. So anyway,
I got something to say about a sea cow space milker, and WTF was with the lame battles in The Last Jedi. They had lame saber battles. I like the whole parkour Luke, but that we all know that would have been sweeter with some more parkour Luke with the lightsabers. At least, like, people may have talked crap on, Phantom Menace and, Revenge of the Sith, way too choreographed. You know what? I'll have over choreographed all day long over nothing. Again, parkour Luke, cool, but I'm with you. If you're like the Force projection ghost, Luke was looking good. They should have been, they should have been all over the place. But we're moving on. I agree with you, sea cow, space milker, and Aaron A.
Some people said it was kind of like a Matrix moment, like he had a kind of a Matrix moment because he was doing like the slow motion like back down, and people really didn't like that. I mean, I thought it was fine with it. I mean, he was doing some cool moves, which is fine, but a lot of people said it was like too much like the Matrix.
I will say it was a tease. It was a tease. Like the moment, like
it was a total tease.
I was getting excited, and I was like, okay, and then it was done. Like that sucks.
Okay, so let's see.
Aaron A.
Where are we going on?
It's over, Disney, Star Wars. You lost the high ground.
That's great. Right? I love that. Right. I love that comment. Star Wars is dead. I'm not paying for any new Star Wars for Disney ever. Like I said, we have the original trilogy and the prequels that are going to be the only one we watch till we die. Yeah, I mean, so many, and it's crazy. Like so many people feel that way, and I, dude, I'm right there with you in so many ways. Like. It's changed. Things are different now, and it's like I'm not feeling a lot of this new Star Wars. It's really kind of crazy, and it's like especially with that just brings me to think about the Han Solo thing. A lot of people are going to be boycotting Solo because of that. So anyway,
yeah, dude, there's a lot of people who are agreeing with you, Peter. Like the originals. The prequels. I just hope that they can bring it in with this last movie and foster in the new generation and be like, this is why we liked Star Wars. I know that you may be you might not be looking forward to that, but again, man, I hope they bring Luke back. But I see where you're at.
And the next one, Snarky McSnarkface. The only way for Disney to win back this fan is to fire Kathleen Kennedy, and so yeah, I think that's of course in response to my.
You were saying that. Too.
I was actually saying that I was trying to be nice to Kathleen about it and say, Kathleen, if you want to win the fans back, you gotta bring us a Luke movie. Just give us a Luke film that takes place in between 7 and 8, or excuse me, 6 and 7. Give us something. Give us after Return of the Jedi Luke, and that's just what we all wanted. So, but he's saying, get rid of Kathleen, and I totally get it. I mean, it's like I don't trust her. Yeah.
And then our favorite comment of the video by What's Up, which we appreciate. Man, you left a 5-paragraph essay. I love this.
Yeah.
But overall. The theory, if you guys didn't read it already in the comments, go back to the last video, we'll put a link to it. But Snoke is Rey's father, mirroring Darth Plagueis and/or Palpatine being Anakin's father, and then in the final episode, as we reach 9, it will be father and daughter rather than father and son. And you know what? I kind of really like that. I kind of really like that. What did you think of this? Go over the comment a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll just let's read some of it, and so I just gotta get some of this in my head because there was so much of it, and it was put into
good.
kind
Did
of
you?
really,
What's up? Yeah.
Ryan is a simply overrated writer, completely messed up the J.J. Abrams set for the trilogy. You know, I totally get that. I was with you on that. Like from day one, it's like it was an okay movie, but it didn't fit Star Wars at all. It didn't fit with the story. Didn't fit with the 7 other movies before it. Let's see. It's now clear that both films J.J. was planning. Snoke is Rey's father. Snoke is likely a clone of Darth Plagueis. Sheev Palpatine is the father of Anakin Skywalker, and Snoke knows this. Rey has the bloodline and has had the training without knowing it. No, and that would have been so cool. Hopefully that stuff like that happens. Like Luke and Anakin used Force projection to secretly project Rey from Snoke to train her. Okay. Luke went into hiding because Snoke was stronger than him and turned Ben and had put the thought of killing Ben into Luke's head. Okay. All right.
Basically, the comment is saying Snoke's is super strong. Rey's father. Everybody else hid him from Rey. He also kind of... Really what I also wanted to touch on was erasing Episode 8 from the canon. Erasing Episode 8 and moving forward. While that's awesome, and I kind of don't even know why we're talking about this, but still, I don't think it's ever going to happen. It's never going to happen. They're not just going to erase it. But I just wanted to touch over it because I really, really like the thought of kind of like a Darth... it's like the mirror. It's like, originally, it's a father and son, and then now we got father and daughter. You know what? It's about family, and I'm down for that. But it takes away from the Skywalker saga. I know that this last movie better tie in something. It better Ben, and I know Ben Solo's here, and Ben is kind of like my saving grace for the new trilogy. I like Ben Solo. Some people don't. Oh, he's too much like Anakin. He's a little crybaby. You know what? That's what I like about him. He is like Anakin. He is like, I can see that, and that is Star Wars, and he is awesome. And man, I hope JJ brings that back. I hope.
So just really quickly because we are going to continue with this comment, by the way. What's up? Because what's up? We want. See, this is a great comment. It's awesome, and we're going to talk about it. But just in regards, since you brought up Kylo Ben Solo, I wanted to talk about him really quick. So the two things that I had beefs with, just with Kylo in general, as a character in Force Awakens, was that he's praying to Darth Vader, right? He's like, "Oh Father, I need to go to the dark," blah 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 blah. But it's like Darth Vader has already become Anakin again. He's already been redeemed. He's already a good Force ghost. How could he be praying to his evil dead father when his father has already been redeemed and changed? So that's just my 2 cents on that. And also, I guess they asked JJ what the ashes were, because he puts the helmet on the ashes in TFA.
Wasn't that supposed to be Vader?
Those are well, according to JJ, they're ashes of his victims. So he's just a psychopath who just kills people, burns their bodies, and then uses the ashes for putting his helmet on. That's...
I don't know. There was some canon literature about how Kylo got Vader's helmet. Unfortunately, I have not read this literature. I have briefed over it. Something about a bounty hunter getting it. Honestly, you guys probably know a little bit more about me than that. But I think you got a very good point about that.
It's just something.
If Anakin comes back, or if Anakin... No, we know that Anakin was redeemed at the end. He joined Ben, he joined Yoda, and...
It's kind of silly just having him pray to Darth Vader when Darth Vader is really no more.
Yeah, but it seems that us as the fans are united in thinking that Snoke will be back. I know he's going to be back. He has to be back.
So So we're gonna. This next part of the comments is really cool. Ray, let's see. What does he say? JJ misled. This is a great section. JJ misled the fans into believing Rey is descended from Luke, Obi-Wan, or Palpatine, which of course I love the whole idea of her being related to Palpatine. Like that would be a reason for him to be afraid of her, etc. All these other things, that would have been like an amazing thing. And like what's up says right here, she fights like him exactly. There was that whole video on it about how she fights like him. You've seen that, I'm sure we've all seen that. And it was trained by Luke and Anakin via Force projection, which is also very interesting. So, and also, just really quickly about the Force projection, and spoiler alert, in the Plagueis book, Darth Plagueis actually does project himself to fool Sidious, when Sidious is a brand new Sith in training. He's learning, in case for any of you crazy Plagueis fans, because I'm a crazy Plagueis fan, and it's a great scene because he literally the young Palpatine is in the snow and fighting to stay alive, and he sees Plagueis' figure, and he tries to jump after him and kill him, and it's just a projection, so he just falls to the ground. So it's just, so in that book, Plagueis is projecting himself. So for any of you diehard Plagueis fans who know about Force projection, it has been done before in a lot of other stuff that was canon previously, or Legends previously, or whatever previously, or just darn good books previously. Anyway, we're going to continue. So, anything else you wanted to say about this? Kylo Ren was supposed to kill Han in TFA, then kill Luke in TLJ because Kylo is unredeemable, of course, and that's all, of course, funding. Yeah, it's like if they try to redeem Kylo, what the heck? That's all I have to say about that. So,
really, again, I like the father and the daughter thing. The rest of it's kind of, and to each their own. Like, I appreciate that you commented back. I appreciate anybody who has watched it this far. That is awesome. You leave a comment. Every episode, we're going to go at the end. We're going to talk about it no matter how long it is. So, hey, you leave something cool. We'll chat about it, dude. It's like you're here with us.
And so what did he land on? What did he land on with the father and daughter thing? Who is the father? Who is Rey's father according to?
According to the comment, or according to this awesome prediction, Snoke being Rey's father, creating her via midichlorian manipulation, such as Plagueis, and then,
That's awesome.
Though, again, I would love to see Snoke be Plagueis.
Do you so that would be amazing. That would be amazing to see. Do you think? Are you on board with the whole fact that when he gets cut in half and all these things? Are you on board with the fact that he was just projecting himself the whole time?
Yep. If you watch this last video that we're reading the comments off of, I firmly believe he was projecting himself. No doubt. He looks better than what he did in the original hologram from The Force Awakens. His whole demeanor, the ability to hold projections after the Force user is gone, and or it can just hold. There's so many points. There's so much. He's going to be back. We would all love it if it was Darth Plagueis. Was it not JJ who promised us that while they're not going to directly tie in the prequels, it's going to come full circle? No, he said there would be a direct correlation. They just wouldn't talk about it. They need to bring it back. I swear to God, somewhere, someone said that they were going to tie it all in. Plagueis as Snoke. We would all be happy. We would all be happy.
And so in closing, like, didn't they say that Episode 9, at least it's John Boyega said that when they asked him about it, he said it's the war to end all wars.
Yep.
And of course JJ said that it's supposed to have a failure. I just hope, like you said, what's up? You said that JJ is now back to fix up the mess that left by Ryan Johnson. So I hope that this does tie it all together, and I hope that we do see elements of all three trilogies and stuff.
We're missing one more comment. We're not going to miss any of them.
Oh.
Remote Prophecy Productions. Terrible movie. You had to enjoy a little bit of it, man. There was a couple good parts. Chewbacca coming back, he's eating the porg.
That was so dumb though, because
the music, Chewbacca. You can agree, Chewbacca was awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you guys watching this. Thanks for hanging out with us, and may the Force be with you always.